day, my name is Nikita, and today we are speaking about communication. Communication is one of the way of exchanging information, and of course, people are the great communicators. We can communicate in many different ways. For example, we can write, we can talk, we can send messages using our faces and hands. There is also a phone, fax, email, poetry, photography, painting, and also communicate ideas. And as for animals, they also have ways of exchanging information. For example, bees dance to other bees to say where to find food. Elephants make sounds that humans can't hear. Whales sing songs. And monkeys use their faces to show anger and love. But this is nothing compared what people can do. We've got a language, about 6,000 languages in fact. So we can write poetry, tell jokes, pursue, explain, and we have a sense of past and future, not just only present. Saying about modern media, radio, film, television have had a huge influence on society for the last 100 years. And we've got an internet which is infinity now. And we can give and get a lot of information very quickly. But this is so much information, so it's difficult to understand what information is important and what isn't. So, modern media is changing our world every minute and every day. Some interesting facts about history in past. The ancient Greeks love bird speaking, and they were very good in public speaking, in drama and philosophy. And in the 14th century, the printing press helped develop new ways of thinking across Europe.
Okay, questions? And how do you think, why do people go to the art galleries, theaters and cinemas?
First of all, people go to art galleries to be socializing and to understand Earth's idea.
How do you think, are people happy when they are socializing?
I think yes, of course, because people are happy when they are socializing. And because of that, they go to art galleries.
What is good and bad about information technology now?
Saying about nowadays, we've got an internet which is infinitive, and we can give and get a lot of information very quickly. But there is so much information, so it's difficult to understand what information is important and what isn't.
And what is the main difference between animals and humans?
We know that animals also have ways of exchanging information. But this is nothing compared what people can do. We've got a language, about 6 languages in fact, so we can tell jokes, write poetry, pursue, explain, and we also have a sense of past and future, not just only present.
Thank you.
Good day, my name is Gleb and I'd like to continue to speak about communication. My topic is devoted to radio days. The BBC started in 1929 and broadcast news, music, stories and plays. In 1939, the BBC was the first radio station which broadcast English language lessons. In the Second World War, Winston Churchill gave his speeches on the radio. In the 50s, radio was the most popular form of family entertainment. Millions followed the BBC's stories and radio soaps. But more and more people had TVs in their homes and everybody said that the days of radio were numbered. However, in the 70s, the popularity of the radio actually increased and the number of radio stations grew. The BBC started local radio stations and later the government allowed commercial radio. Gradually, the radio started to become more popular again. One of the reasons for the success of the radio is the choice. The BBC is still going strong with other half of listeners. And the BBC World Service is broadcast around the world in English and other languages. Radio is now more advanced than television with new technology. You can listen to the BBC or commercial radio stations on the net and choose your own programs. Radio hasn't only survived, it's still alive and kicking.
Okay, thank you. How do you think, Gleb, was the radio included in the Second World War in Russia?
Yes, because in the Second World War, Yuri Borisovich Levitan gave his speeches on the radio for the Soviet people.
You have said that in the 1960s, everybody said that the days of the radio were numbered. Why do you think so?
Because more and more people had TVs in their homes and everybody said that the days of the radio were numbered.
Why is the radio still alive and kicking?
because you can listen to the BBC or commercial radio stations on the net and choose your own programs.
Thank you.
As I have said, TV, radio and film has had a huge influence on society in the last 100 years. So just now, let's speak about TV. Television is one of the greatest technological inventions of 20th century. The Scottish man invented it. He used a mechanical system and he called his invention a televisor. His programs broadcast to the BBC, and these programs have sound, not just only picture. More and more people have TVs after the Second World War, and color TVs began in the USA, but only a small number of people have got it because they were so expensive. And saying about nowadays, we've got a digital TV. As for nowadays, the most popular form of family entertainment is the internet, and just now let's speak about it. The internet was started by the USA military in 1960s, when the Pentagon were worried about communications after nuclear war. The scientists and academics use the internet to share their ideas. And after that, in 1980s, they call it the internet. And saying about nowadays, we use the internet to working, entertainment, to playing computer games, and so on and so forth. That's all.
What about you? How do you prefer to communicate?
And as for me, I prefer to communicate face to face, because as for me it's more suitable and I can see real emotions.
Why did scientists start to use the net?
They began to use the internet to share their ideas.
And what do you know about positive and negative influence of the TV?
I know that on the one hand TV is good for us because we lie on the sofa, we relax and we don't think about our work, school, exams and so on and so forth. We also can get a lot of interesting information from it and in next day discuss with our friends about it. But on the other hand, it's bad for our vision and we don't do anything. We don't use our brain, we don't use our body, so it's bad for us.
Thank you.
Good day, my name is Daria, and I want to add some information about communication. As Nikita has said, paintings can also communicate ideas. People are happy when they are socializing because they go to art galleries. Look at these absolutely different paintings. They can communicate absolutely different ideas. For example, look at this painting. It's I Know Red by Roy Lichtenstein. It's easy to see what happens in this painting. I really like the color of girl's blue dress and her blonde hair, and I really like round shapes in picture. And the topic, it's interesting too. A woman looks worried. Maybe she's thinking about her boyfriend. Let's look at this painting. It's Symbolization 28 by Vasily Kandinsky. It has strong lines and you can almost feel music. And the colors, they're great, they're really bright. And I like abstract paintings because you have to use your own imagination to understand what painter is trying to do. What about the third picture? It's Guernica by Pablo Picasso. It's extraordinary and really frightening. It shows horrors of war with dark colors and terrible images. The shapes and lines are strong and geometrical. They show violence and pain. Look at the horse and the mother with her dead child. It's really frightening. Let's speak about the third picture. It's A Big Splash by David Hockney. It has bright colors and clear lines, and I really like the color of water in the swimming pool. Their style is really strange. It's realistic, but very simple at the same time. Think about me, my favorite painting is The Big Splash by David Hockney, because I really like the soft colors, they are so beautiful, and the clear lines, and it makes positive. Looking at this painting, I can dream and think about relaxing, holidays and sunny weather. Thank you. That's all.